Today I want to talk to all of you loners out there. I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, to those of you who find yourself alone on your path, the lone wolves, or how they call it. A loner is someone who doesn't hide from the world, but lives in his or her own terms. That's who the real loner is. And there are souls out there that just don't belong into the crowd of society. There are souls out there who don't fit into the structure of society. They stand out, and even though they've tried to fit in, they've recognized it doesn't work for them. And for some time they've been through phases of confusion because they thought there's something wrong with them, that they are broken, that they are a mistake. But eventually they figured out that they are just different. Their brain doesn't allow social programming to happen because they have a stronger program installed that's called divine guidance. It's a program that is receptive for the subtle divine influences. And that's why loners out there are walking such a different path. I'm one of them, and I want to talk to you today. A bit of a different format of this video, but I wanted to talk to you eye to eye, heart to heart. Hey there. I know that this path may be quite challenging and confusing, and there are times when you would crave company. I want to share my personal story related to that, because there were times when I truly were socializing a lot. I thought I will meet my people, and I met my people. And for some time I felt very happy about it. But soon I've recognized that it's kind of poisoning me. Like every time I'm socializing too much, I just lose myself. Like I just don't think clearly anymore. So I've recognized, okay, I like socializing, but I like even more being alone. I'm a creative person, I'm an artist. And loners out there, those of you who are on this lonely path, loner's path, just know that being a loner is not a bad thing. Even a word loner in society is kinda labeled as something bad or negative, because often people connect it with depression and sadness and disconnection. This is not real loneliness. Loneliness happens when we actually become disconnected from ourselves. There's actually many people who are very social but feel lonely. The real loner has found himself and herself and is walking a very different path. A path where on the highest, peak of his or her values is peace, purpose, mission, true creative expression, and authenticity. These are the values of someone who walks this path of a loner. And it doesn't mean they're alone all the time. They spend time with people. They hang with people. But they don't use people to fit the void that they feel within. They have learned to fill up the void that was caused by the wounds of society. And they've learned to fill up that void with awareness. They became aware of the void and they've recognized that they are the void. They are devoid. They are not the noise, they are actually devoid. They are also devoid of society. They're what most people never tap in. They're in society, people love to be crowded. People love to be in noise. People love loud sounds, loud music. They love high dopamine spikes to experience extreme focus that is driven by something external. While those who walk a lonely path, they've recognized, they experience all these things, but drives come from within. All the drives come from within. Dopamine comes out of doing something purposefully. It also comes from doing something creatively. There's many artists who just can't socialize too much because it's poison for them. There's many creative people, many creators, many entrepreneurs that are building something to heal the world, that are loners, because they've recognized that their minds work best when they are alone. But if you look for validation outside of you, you will notice that the world will label you as there's something wrong with you. So you can't listen to the world outside of you. You need to listen to the world inside of you. That's why this path is so different. Some would call it hermetic path, because you choose to learn through your own mistakes and suffer in quietness, and then study your own errors in your deep, quiet reflection, and then overcome mistakes through more conscious efforts, more intentional action. This is the hermetic journey. So many loners out there are on a hermetic journey. And the greatest trap on this path is truly noise of the world. Noise of the world is the greatest trap, because when you're alone, you're also vulnerable. You're vulnerable because you become sensitive. Now, you're not on this path because you want to disconnect from the world. You're on this path because you want to become more connected with the world, so you can interact with the world from more healed, more honest, more truthful, authentic state. So you're not avoiding the world, you're not avoiding people, you're not avoiding experiences outside of you. You just don't use them to fill something that is missing. That is a big difference. This is the path of the loners. The lonely wolf is walking a different path because you have a different antenna, right? You don't search for the signal of what other people are saying. You search for the signal of what God is saying or the source is saying to you. And then you follow it. We call it a mission because it feels like a mission. So before I mentioned, in my life, I had periods where I had this spiritual season in my life where I've distanced myself from the world, and I've been doing a lot of the inner work, and I've been meditating, and I've been reflecting and journaling, and I've been contemplating a lot on how my life is going. And then I came to the point where I've recognized, okay, I actually would love to meet some new people. I would love to actually go into the world and expose myself to something new, new relationships, new experiences, just something new that will bring me, a sense that I'm not truly alone on this path. And I actually met so many new people. For example, at the time when I quitted my job and I've started doing art, I've started truly exploring myself, why I'm seeing all these visions in my mind's eye. And I was learning to paint, to bring these visions out into the canvas. That was the time when I was truly alone in my life. Well, one thing is that I have an incredible partner that functions quite similarly. Maya, she's an angel in my life. So some of you may say, well, you were not truly alone. But even when you're in a relationship, at least me, I still take so much time for myself. I still need to be so much alone. And Maya understands that. That's why she's like an angel. But also, you know, universe brings to us right connections, right souls, when universe knows, when God knows that we need them. And this is my path. Maya would tell you I'm a loner. And when I had this period in my life, when I've been learning to paint, at some point I thought, well, it would be so great to meet other artists. It would be so great to meet people who are into what I'm creating. So I would receive some feedback. So even if you're a loner, even if you're on this lonely path, you will still have these cravings and allow yourself to have new experiences. You see, when soul craves connection, give that to yourself. But obviously, most probably, you will not find it in where you are. You will need to step out of the comfort. And to me, out of the comfort back at that time was having my first official art exhibition. That was a step out of the comfort. And obviously, I had no connections with artists, with galleries. And life connected me the way that I met a business mentor. And I thought, well, how business mentor can help me to have an art exhibition. But it just happened that she had a connection with one art gallery, and 1 month later I had my first art exhibition. So this is how it works. When we already work on a mission, we have an intention and we follow that soul craving. I call it the soul craving because it's an internal pull that says to you very loudly, hey, we need to connect, we need to explore, we need to go out there. Not to lose yourself, but to see what is out there, to see if you're still loner. And so that's something I did. I met so many new people back at the time. And I thought, whoa, I'm not loner anymore. Now I love to connect with others. I love to communicate about all these great things that I've been exploring back at that time. But more I've been hanging, more I've noticed, okay, it was great, but now I'm back on a mission. So I've recognized, even though I've been trying to socialize in my life, I always work best, and I still work best when I am alone. So I don't have many friends. I have actually 2 good friends, 2 really good friends with whom I can have very deep conversations about everything, and I have the best possible partner. That's it. I don't need 10 friends, 15 friends, or whatever. And this is the loner's path. Sometimes, you know, loners become depressed because they don't listen to their impulse. So they get disconnected from themselves. Why we get disconnected from ourselves? Well, because if you don't listen the inner voice, you start listening your animalistic nature. So what does it mean? Well, there are 2 natures of yours. One is animal nature, and the second one is spiritual nature. Spiritual nature is more divine one. It feels like inspiration. It feels very, you know, it's on a very pure and high frequency. When we are connected with it, we're usually very calm, very grateful, very happy, or at least we just feel coherent. We feel at ease. When we are in our animal nature, we follow our impulses. We follow our human desires. Nothing wrong with that, as long as we do it through awareness, as long as we are aware of what we're doing and we don't become too distracted by it. Nothing wrong by following your desires and all of that. Enjoy your nature, my friend. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your nature. But sometimes our human nature pulls us away from our spiritual nature, and we try to then fill the gap that has been created, that's felt as emptiness, with our human desires. through pleasure, through following something that brings us pleasure, through doing something that brings us pleasure, which obviously brings some sense of happiness and passion and joy, but eventually leaves us empty, because what we're missing is something peaceful, something holistic, something that just feeds us with life. That's why so many times when we're just doing something that feeds our human nature, our animal nature, I like to remind people, hey, do some art, do some meditation, do some slow movement like yoga. Go into a spiritual retreat just to connect with the other side of you. Just to notice that you're not just a physical body. Just to notice that physical body will never be fulfilled if you actually lack real connection, which is your real essence, awareness of your true nature. And those of you who are on this lonely path, those of you are quite aware usually of the spiritual nature. And many times what I've noticed, and it was also in my life present, that I've neglected my physical nature. So there was a time in my life where I've been truly neglecting my physical body. I've been not working out, I've been not eating healthy, I've been taking care just of my spiritual side, like meditating, doing art, and just, trying to ascend spiritually. So I've noticed, okay, my body still needs connection, movement, healthy nutrition, water, sun, breathing, all these things. And what we learn on this path is that we need to find our own way to balance these two sides of us. And that's something that makes you quite unrelatable in society, because everyone is praising just the material and physical. Like if you go into the gym, everybody is just about pumping muscles and protein shakes and this kind of things. If you go into business circles, everybody is just around money and building an empire and successful business and all these things. If you go into some social circles, everyone is just around, hey, what is going on in your life, and so on. So when you talk about this essence of you, and when you slow down in your life so you stay in tune with you, you become very different. People don't relate to you because they don't understand what you're talking about. That's why there's so many loners. It's not because there's something truly different about you, it's because people are so disconnected. So something I've started noticing in my life lately is that actually people say to me, oh yes, I need to do that more often as well. Sometimes, I say to people, like, I'm not going there because I respect myself, and right now I'm actually in a season where I need more pace, and that's a self-respect to me. And people are like, oh yes, I need to do that more often too. So I've noticed that the greatest skill and the greatest thing you can do as someone who's on this lonely path is to be honest with other people, not hiding your nature. Be honest with them. You don't need to live on their terms and conditions. You can live on your own conditions and terms, but you can still be kind and honest with other people, and therefore they can connect more deeply with you as well. There are so many people who are actually connecting and living these loud lives that would actually love to live more quiet and lonely lives for a certain time. Because when we're alone, we start to understand how we think uniquely, how we feel without some external, influences, who we truly are, what we are good at, what we are not so good at. We notice our errors. We notice our greatest qualities. We notice what's truly our place in this world. What are our passions? What are our real soul desires? So then, we can put all of this together. I practice it through journaling, writing down. We put it all together and then we have a map for our lives. Have you been looking for purpose? Here you go. Put all of this together. What are your qualities, your strengths, your weaknesses? What you love to do, what you don't like to do. What you don't like about your life. What would you like to change? What kind of people would you love to talk to? Who are your inspirations? Just write all of that down. Who would you love to be in the future? And you will have a purpose to work on this. This is a great purpose, and the path will introduce you to new levels of evolution on your journey. Learn from the feedback, not from books. Yeah, read books, read many of books, but learn from the feedback of your own actions. Just know, to those of you who maybe thought there's something wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're maybe just more in tuned, or more aware, or more sensitive, or maybe more connected with the nature that's not so physical, that's maybe very spiritual, and you don't know how to integrate it into this life. So that's something that's a mission of yours to learn. And know that you're not alone. There's so many of us who are figuring things out. And the best thing we can do is to share with one another what we've learned. So that's what I'm doing every single day, sharing with you what I've learned. So I hope you found a great value today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. And big thanks to everyone for choosing to support my art. I'm an artist, as I mentioned, and you can find all of my paintings on AttractPassion.com. Prints of my art in different sizes, so see which one resonates with you. And also join us on our Patreon community for more exclusive content. Also join us on YouTube membership. These are the ways you can support this channel so we can keep going every single day. Thank you so much, as every single day I'm giving you a new message so you can stay connected with the path that's truly meant for you. This is it for today. I will leave you here, and till next time, one love.